Tensions may be bubbling just beneath the surface at Ferrari, where Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc appear to be drifting apart in their response to the team's latest upgrade. Behind the polished smiles and post-session interviews lies a deeper divide, one that could shape the entire direction of Ferrari's 2025 campaign. The cause? A much-anticipated rear suspension upgrade tested during a private run at Mugello. Hamilton, ever the strategist, walked away cautiously optimistic, calling it a step forward. Leclerc, on the other hand, was far less impressed. Quietly reserved. The Monegasque wasn't convinced the changes had moved the needle enough to matter on race day. Now, as Spa looms, Ferrari finds itself in a delicate position with its two superstar drivers pulling in subtly different directions. But signs are emerging that Hamilton may finally be coming into his own at Maranello. After a subdued start to his Ferrari journey, the seven-time world champion is beginning to assert himself not just on track, but behind the scenes as well. According to 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve, Hamilton is gradually transforming the team around him. Lewis is slowly but surely making this his team, Villeneuve told the media. He's getting more comfortable, more confident. He's experienced. He's patient and he's pushing in the right places. That's a very good sign. It's a shift Ferrari desperately needs. The early part of 2025 hasn't gone to plan. Missed opportunities, set up inconsistencies, and performance swings have left the Scuderia trailing behind McLaren and looking over their shoulder at Mercedes. But after Mugello, there's a flicker of hope. According to F1 web magazine Italia, internal morale is on the rise following what insiders described as a promising test. The upgraded suspension package developed to solve Ferrari's notorious ride height and rear-end instability could finally offer the consistency the SF25 has been lacking. Still, optimism at Ferrari comes with caution, because while simulations may show gains, it's Spa-fast, brutal, and wildly unpredictable that will reveal whether this upgrade is truly a breakthrough or just another mirage as part of their final push before the Belgian Grand Prix. Ferrari took advantage of a permitted 100-kilometer filming day at Mugello. What unfolded looked more like a low-key test than a media shoot. The action began quietly on Wednesday, with reserve driver Antonio Giovinazzi logging baseline laps in the standard SF25, a routine data-gathering run designed to create a clean comparison window. But Thursday was the real spotlight moment. Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc strapped into the upgraded version of the car, each tasked with putting Ferrari's most ambitious update of the season to the test. The center of attention, a completely reworked rear suspension system. And while it wasn't a full-power race simulation, this was no minor tweak. This is Ferrari's final major development of 2025, and its success or failure could very well define the rest of their campaign. The upgrade was engineered to address one of the SF25's most persistent flaws: its erratic behavior. When the aerodynamic load shifts suddenly, especially through fast corners or under heavy braking, it's the kind of inconsistency that wrecks lap times and drains driver confidence. If Ferrari can tame that trait, the car's entire setup window could expand just in time for the crucial second half of the season. Inside Maranello, the mood following the Mugello run was reportedly cautiously optimistic. Engineers saw early signs that the new suspension could finally calm the SF25's unpredictable ride height issues and stabilize the rear end. But not everyone was sold. According to team insiders, there's already a quiet disagreement taking shape in the garage. Charles Leclerc left Mugello unimpressed, reportedly telling the team the car still felt too familiar. No dramatic shift in handling, no major breakthrough. He wasn't dismissive, but he certainly wasn't convinced either. Hamilton, however, had a different take after his runs. Sources say he walked away pleased with what he felt: smoother traction zones, cleaner load transitions, more predictability, all signs that the upgrade may finally be paying off. It's an encouraging signal for a driver who spent most of 2025 trying to form a connection with a car that's refused to meet him halfway. But even amid technical differences, there's been a subtle shift in dynamic between the two drivers. Leclerc, once the undisputed center of Ferrari's universe, has started to recalibrate his position since Hamilton arrived from Mercedes. Charles has openly acknowledged that his perspective is changing. He's watching closely as Hamilton begins shaping the team in his image, and whether the upgrade works or not, that new balance of power inside the garage is already being felt. Charles Leclerc has worn red since day one. a product of the Ferrari Driver Academy and a loyal soldier since his debut in 2019. He knows Maranello inside out, but now, paired with the most decorated driver in Formula One history, he's seeing the team through a different lens, one he never expected. Working alongside Lewis Hamilton has been nothing short of a revelation. According to Leclerc, the 7-time world champion has already brought fresh insights from his dominant era at Mercedes insights that have forced Ferrari to re-examine how it operates at every level. It's been very interesting, Leclerc told The Times. There are areas where Ferrari and Mercedes worked in completely different ways. For me, the car's behavior was normal, but for Lewis, it opened up discussions that showed just how much we can evolve. And if anyone knows what winning looks like, it's Hamilton. Over 12 seasons with Mercedes, he captured 6 world titles and helped build one of the most dominant dynasties the sport has ever seen. A Constructors' Championships back-to-back from 2014 to 2021. But when the new ground effect era disrupted that empire in 2022, Hamilton made his move. Long before the 2024 season began, he had already signed with Ferrari, determined to chase his elusive 8th title in red. Now, halfway through his first year in Maranello, his influence is beginning to show not just in the garage, but in his teammate. While Hamilton is still adapting, it's Leclerc who's carried the weight of Ferrari's results. All 4 of the team's podiums in 2025 belong to him. He leads his new teammate in the Drivers' Championship. On paper, it's a personal victory, but emotionally, it's bittersweet, because after coming within reach of a Constructors' title in 2024, only to lose it to McLaren in Abu Dhabi, Leclerc entered 2025 expecting another title fight. Instead, he's watching McLaren disappear into the distance. At the halfway mark, the gap between Ferrari and McLaren has ballooned to a staggering 138 points. What was once a rivalry now feels like a runaway. It's definitely not gone the way I expected. Leclerc admitted, "We made progress, but others, especially McLaren, made a bigger step. They're in another league right now. Red Bull, too, has pulled ahead. And while Ferrari isn't standing still, the momentum just isn't there." Behind the scenes, team principal Frederick Vasseur has noticed a recurring pattern with Leclerc. It's not his talent that's in question, it's his tendency to shoulder too much of the blame, whether it's a misqualifying lap or a frustrating race result. Leclerc often internalizes the team's struggles as his own. He's been like this for 10 years, Vasseur said. Charles is one of those rare drivers who's willing to say, "That was my mistake," and that's valuable. It keeps the team grounded, but sometimes he's a little hard on himself. That was evident at Silverstone, where a rough qualifying session triggered an expletive-filled radio message. The emotion was raw, and the frustration was real. Ferrari is now working with Leclerc behind the scenes to help him strike a better balance between ownership and self-preservation. Because as Hamilton looks to put his stamp on Ferrari's future, Leclerc's inner battle could become just as critical as the car's development path. His talent is unquestioned, but will his self-doubt become the hidden weakness that holds this pairing back? Let us know what you think. Can Ferrari unlock the full potential of both drivers before it is too late? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any updates on the Scuderia's Roller Coaster 2025 season. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.